702.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
11 minutes to 12 o'clock. You are still on 702 Thabo in for Clement. We're together up until 12. So we've got just a few moments to go. And we're coming to you live from Mamelodi at the Walter Sisulu Environmental Center on the occasion of looking at that very important day of International Day of Clean and Blue Skies. We spoke about it quite some time today. And now I'm joined by my two guests. One of them is hosting us here at the center, David Kramer, who's the member of the governing body of the Walter Sisulu Environmental Center. David, thanks for your time. Welcome to 702.
Pleasure. I'm glad you guys are here.
Thank you so much for hosting us. And from the Global Air Fund, Air Quality Monitoring, Vumile Senene is also our guest. Thanks for joining us. All the best.
Thank you, Thabo.
Perhaps let's start with you, David, as the host. What work do you do at the center, and how is it linked with the environmental issues that are so critical generally to our existence?
Yeah, well, we work under the banner of Grow, Learn, Green. So essentially, the center is an environmental education center. We work mainly with young people, school learners, youth out of school, and our task is to try and get them to understand what best practices when it comes to environmental behavior. Mm-hmm. So we focus on trying to teach them how to manage waste, water, energy, biodiversity. We're concerned about climate change in the future because these are the generations that are going to suffer that.
Yeah.
And we're trying to prepare them to understand how climate change is going to impact on Mamelodi in particular and what we do about it, because when they grow up and become leaders in the community, we want them to have the skills to cope with climate change. And now essentially with clean air as well.
Yeah.
So our purpose is to get young people to learn how to manage these things, go home, influence their families, their neighbors, their streets, the rest of the community, so that hopefully in the future we'll know how to tackle these very important issues, but issues which most people kind of avoid. So that's what we do. We also work in schools to try and supplement the curriculum. Schools teach people about environment, but they don't teach people about why it's important and what to do about it. And then essentially we also help to green Mamelodi. So since about 2008, we've planted over 37,000 trees in the community, and we'll be planting more next week.
Yeah.
So we distribute trees to the community in the hope of creating a greener Mamelodi. We also have a garden allotment program.
Yes.
We have a group of pensioners who come and grow vegetables for themselves, and they grow a whole bunch of things.
Sure.
So essentially that's what we do.
How's that going, especially when you're working with the young ones, teaching them, and whilst they're young, to influence families and friends and communities generally around them? How is that information being absorbed? Are you seeing some progress, change of attitudes and actions?
We do, but we don't keep contact with them indefinitely. So what we do is not teach like we teach in school. There's no teacher talking to kids about what to do. When they come here, they get involved in activities. They learn through experimentation.
After school?
After school, during the school day, and then during the school holidays as well.
Okay.
And then we also work with unemployed youth, and we work with community members at the same time, again, trying to get people to understand what best practice looks like on a day-to-day basis in their own lives.
Yeah. Now, you are from the Global Fund, Vumile. And this is very important because you do air quality monitoring there. Share a bit about Global Air Fund as to what it does. And I had fund and I had finances and money. And I was wondering, who are you giving money to so that I can queue up myself?
No, thanks, Thabo, for the opportunity. The Clean Air Fund is a global philanthropic organization that works with governments, municipalities, provinces, also the private sector, civil society, academia, around the challenge of air pollution. So our model basically is about funding certain activities that support the work of air quality management. So for example, today we have launched a low-cost sensor project where we are deploying air quality monitoring stations that allow for the community to know the quality of air they're breathing. And so we are supporting the city in that regard. But we also work with communities. As David indicated, there's a lot of awareness that is needed across all sectors of society. So in our space, we focus on civil society organizations to empower them so that they can go out in communities and engage. But also we support governments. So in our efforts here in the city of Tshwane is to support the city in executing its mandate on equality monitoring and management. So overall, we provide grants to such organizations and support them in fulfilling their responsibilities pertaining equality.
And of course, they must be in good standing, and they must demonstrate, I assume, the level of interest and willingness to operate in the environmental space or clean air space.
Absolutely. So to your point, I mean, there has to be interest, there has to be structure. And so in our engagement, we look out for those organizations that have shown interest, that have mobilized in this space, and support them. Thanks.
Yeah. Sorry, your organization is Clean Air Fund.
Yes.
Right? And so anyone can apply. Or do you have various restrictions?
We take an approach of looking out. So we don't accept applications per se.
Yeah.
We go out and look for organizations in that space.
Yeah.
And so, for example, we are working in South Africa now with the South African Waste Pickers Association.
Yes.
To address, the pressing need around the burning of waste. We found them to be an organization that is quite a strong foothold in the communities. They are organized, and so we are supporting them in 3 areas in South Africa, in Sidibeng, in the Vaal, as well as Emalahleni in Mpumalanga, and Lephalale in the northwest. And so we work with them to bring awareness to schools, but also promote separation at source. So that we actually see waste as a value and not something to be discarded.
And David, coming back to you, Vumile is raising a very important point of separation, especially of waste. And those are some of the things that I think you may be touching on. We only have just a minute or so remaining. I'm worried about perhaps the change of attitude, and maybe speak to the importance of doing that, because at times you are at home or at school and you don't care where you throw your banana peels and your the soft drink cans and everything else in between. Are those the kind of things that you deal with here at Walter Sisulu?
Yes, indeed, it's exactly what we deal with. But when we talk about waste, all these things are linked. You can't talk about air quality without talking about waste and public burning of waste. You can't talk about all of that without understanding the threat to biodiversity that air pollution and other forms of pollution pose. So what we find is that the more we are able to get people to be aware of the problem, the more engaged they are when we talk about what the solutions might be.
Yeah.
The holy grail, of course, is getting people to change their behavior permanently into the future, and that's why we're working with young people. We find it's easier to get young people to understand and to behave differently than it is to change the attitudes and behavior of some of adults who kind of grown into their ways.
Sure. Vumile, as we say goodbye, how do people reach you on a website? Do you have telephone numbers?
I think the best way is to go to our website, cleanairfund.org. They will be able to get the details of our operations in South Africa and globally, and more information exactly what we do. Thanks.
Okay. David, your contact details?
We also have our website, wesic.org, and people can find out more about that. But I think most of the Mamelodi community knows who we are and where we are and what we do. Fantastic.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for chatting to us on this very important day. I really wish you the best. Vumile, Senene, Clean Air Fund, Quality Monitoring, David Kramer, who's a member of the governing body of Walter Sisulu Environmental Center. Really appreciate it. And you need to know that this 702 Live from the city of Tshwane was brought to you by the Gauteng Department of Environment. Visit gauteng.gov.za for more.